Hello, good day, mate. Mabuhay, annyeonghaseyo, annyeong, and konnichiwa. Uh, Greetings to Asia is what I mean. And my name is Larry Hussey. I am the creator of Drug Force. So since I'm the creator of Drug Force, let's do the Drug Force cheers, shall we? All right. I'll let me give you some instructions. I'll say it, and then you say it after me. And then I'll say good job, and then both of us together we say the Lee 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 part. That's how it goes. If you've never heard it from both sides, you can hear me on my microphone, can you? Okay. Ready? Drug Force. Good job, Lee Lee Lee. So now we're both saying Lee Lee Lee. Good job. Okay. I'm excited today because I've done a little bit of research on AI and in some Hollywood Press articles. And what I found out is that Ian Fleming signed a contract with a man named Harry Saltzman, and Ian Fleming was paid only $50,000 for Dr. No and $100,000 for every movie after Dr. No. He was not given any percentage at all. And as far as I can tell, it's hard to find real information on this. As far as I can tell, he's never received a percentage royalty on any of the James Bond. The only thing that you can assume he made a percentage royalty on was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which was produced by Disney. But Albert R. Broccoli then partnered up with Harry Saltzman, and they decided to divide their company 50-50, which eventually became Albert R. Broccoli Presents, I guess is the name of the company, something like that. And so they split it 50-50. And so the initial Dr. No made $41 million at its first box office run, which means that if the series creator got 10%, Ian Fleming, which means he would have gotten $4 million, but he did not get $4 million. He got $50,000 flat fee. And so I'm not happy about this. And then what happened when I was in school, this Albert R. Broccoli Presents company decided to hire writers to write James Bond novels instead of Ian Fleming writing James Bond novels, so that there would be new James Bond novels. And I, as a junior high student, I actually read, I think it was the first one, because I was at the bookstore and they were like the first new novel for James Bond, and I bought it. And it was meh. It was like meh, by John Gardner. Nothing against John Gardner. The idea that the Albert R. Broccoli Presents company is hiring writers to write new James Bond novels is so insulting. It's absolutely mind-blowingly insulting to Ian Fleming. Ian Fleming stopped writing James Bond novels, and that's why you could only find James Bond novels in the library, and that's where I found them, and that's where I checked them out and I read them. There's a compilation called Gilt-Edged Bonds. It has 3 Bond novels in it. That's just awesome. It's called Gilt-Edged Bond, GILT, because it's a printing term, Gilt-Edged Bonds. And it's awesome. Gilt-Edged Bonds is a great compilation. But the thing is, you can only find it at used bookstores or at the library, because Ian Fleming doesn't publish new books because he for some reason. Some people think he signed away his books, even royalties on his books, or maybe just was so mad about the movie deal. I don't know. I don't know that part because there's very little information. And so I think that the Albert R. Broccoli Presents company has definitely silenced the Hollywood press. And so I would also like to encourage, if you are a documentarian or you would like to be a documentarian, I believe the time is right to investigate the Harry Saltzman, Albert R. Broccoli partnership. because they've obviously silenced the Hollywood press. The article that I read about the $100,000 per movie, it actually was worded as Ian Fleming made a whopping $50,000, and then he got $100,000 for the next movie. It was written as if that was a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. However, it's not a lot of money compared to the $41 million with an M that it made at the box office. It's nothing compared to $41 million. Okay. So obviously, this Albert R. Broccoli, Harry Saltzman partnership company, the Albert R. Broccoli presents, his Albert R. Broccoli's nickname was Cubby. They called him Cubby Broccoli because that was his nickname, Cubby Broccoli. So the Cubby Broccoli Harry Saltzman partnership, they made sure that Ian Fleming signed his movie contract in England because under British law, you cannot go back on a contract that you have signed. And so, whatever challenge Ian Fleming has made legally has not succeeded because under British law, you cannot go back on a British contract. And Harry Saltzman made sure that it was a contract signed in Britain with a British person. And also, he obviously made sure the Ian Fleming didn't read the contract. And I don't know how he did it, but he obviously made sure Ian Fleming didn't read the contract. And so there's a lot of silencing of the press on this because everything I try to look up about the history of James Bond is glowing about how everybody loves it and everybody loves and Ian Fleming got money for it, and Ian Fleming bought a golden typewriter. And well, Ian Fleming bought a golden typewriter after he published his first novel, Casino Royale. It wasn't after he made his first movie. It was after he published his first novel in 1952. Okay. And that was back when gold was relatively cheap compared to it is now. And so that typewriter only cost $172 is what the article said that I read. And so it was $172 golden plate, not solid gold, just gold plated typewriter. And so Ian Fleming was into making money. He was into being successful, rich. And he would not have signed a contract with nothing but a flat fee for an unlimited box office Hollywood movie, unless he was tricked or hurried or something. And so all of you documentarians out there, or wannabe documentarians, this is a prime subject now because Ian Fleming has just turned 100. And Cubby Broccoli has passed away a while ago. And the new company, or not the new company, the same old company recently said that even though Daniel Craig at one point said he didn't want to make that last movie, he did agree to it. And now the company itself says they wish that they would have signed him up for 9 or 10 movies instead of 4. And that is really brazenly abusive because Daniel Craig said that talked about injuries he's upheld making the movies. He didn't want to make those movies anymore. You might remember how Pierce Brosnan was fired by a simple phone call saying you're fired. That's the kind of class that this Cubby Broccoli and Harry Saltzman company exhibits. That's the kind of high class that they exhibit, is that they call up Pierce Brosnan and say you're fired. And then they hire Daniel Craig, and Daniel Craig says, well, I don't want to do my last movie. And they're like, well, we're going to force you to. And they forced him to. And so that's the kind of high class this Cubby Broccoli, Harry Saltzman company does. And so the idea that they're hiring writers to write new James Bond stories is so insulting to Ian Fleming. I am going to make cartoons, and they are going to be James Bond by Ian Fleming, written by Larry Hussey. And they're not going to be monetized, probably. This is your 10-minute break ending. Have a good day.